Attention homeowners and real estate investors. Are you looking for a recession-proof real estate strategy that creates consistent income and real impact? Learn how investors are generating reliable returns by supplying housing to veterans through government-backed programs. This proven model helps reduce vacancy risk, stabilize cash flow, and align your real estate portfolio with purpose. Join the Housing America's Heroes Investor Masterclass, a live virtual training designed to show you how to do this the right way. Join us this Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. Central. The registration link will be posted in the comments. Housing America's Heroes, where purpose meets profit.
Oh, hey everybody. Thank y'all for joining me this evening for another episode of Boots on the Ground. My name is Evette Jones Swanson, and I am a realtor. I'm a realtor with Real People Realty. And I've been a realtor now for, well, I'm just going to say since 1996, put it that way. And I've been a veterans realtor for 22 plus years. I think this year will make 26 years that I've been a veterans realtor and educator in the community. I saw a need in veterans homeless housing when this was 2007, when the housing bill, I can't recall, 40058, I believe. I don't, it's in one of my letters that I wrote to former First Lady Michelle Obama about the same issue that I'm still talking about since 07, since 2000. So, and in housing homeless veterans, I found that the problem is they don't have the resources that they need to be housed, first of all. They're not connected to resources. So that was one thing. And I was one of those former homeless veterans who was not connected to resources. So that's how I began to learn about all of the resources that a homeless veteran could get connected to if they just knew how. So I found another community, the community in which the money goes to. And I found all of those organizations here in the Chicagoland area and stayed with those organizations. They would come and go. Some are still here. But for the most part, a lot of those organizations who received that funding are no longer in business, or they didn't receive that grant money. The homeless veterans with resources, let's say they have a HUD-VASH voucher. Those are the veterans who, hey, good afternoon and welcome back, Miss, I can't even see, Penelope Page. Thanks y'all for showing up again. And those veterans with the vouchers, they became a hot commodity in our homeless veterans community, because now they can take to the community to offer as a rent payment. And that's where and when my business started to thrive. And that was in 2007 when I took on that mission. And since 2007 to now, what is this, 2026, working with HUD-VASH and generating a whole lot of money because no other realtor was out there really moving these veterans. And they're still not. And that's why I'm here to finally just come out in the open and say, I can teach y'all now. For years, my colleagues here in the Chicagoland area would always ask me, Evette, how do you get paid housing homeless veterans when they don't have any money? Well, they have what we call veteran benefits. And veterans have benefits, and I'm just going to show you an example of some of our veteran benefits where, veterans probably aren't even looking for these benefits. I'm going to start from the top, the federal. Veterans have benefits at the federal level. And inside this federal level benefits book are benefits for housing. Thank you for the hearts over there on TikTok. Then I'm going to go to the state. All the states within the United States of America have benefits for veterans. Here's a benefits guidebook from the state of Illinois, Illinois Department of Veteran Affairs. And guess what? You have a Georgia Department of Veteran Affairs. You have a Texas Department of Veteran Affairs. You have a Colorado Department. Every state has a Department of Veteran Affairs. Go get your book. If you have to go inside a vet center, go. If you have to, go down, see if yours is downloadable on your VA website, on your state, Illinois, well, whatever state you're in, Department of Veteran Affairs website. Then also in Illinois, in every state, you have the veteran entrepreneurship programs and procurement. So, let me just keep going about these benefits, okay? So we went from federal, we went to state benefits, and now we have veterans who can become entrepreneurs under programs under your state specific. This one is from the Illinois Veteran Entrepreneurship Program and Procurement. But guess what? Every state has a entrepreneurship program and procurement department program. So I'm just going to keep going. Chicago. Let me wait. That was the state. Now let's go to the county. So the county, your county, wherever you're located, has county benefits. And this is our county, Veterans Assistance Commission, Cook County, Illinois. So now we see veterans have benefits, right? Veterans have federal benefits. Veterans have state-specific benefits, more entrepreneurship benefits. Veterans have benefits from the county level. Veterans have benefits from the city level. This benefit here is a certification that was a pilot program, and in 2 years, the city of Chicago adopted this as a program within the city's procurement, Department of Procurement Services. When was this day? This was December 9th, 2025. And my company, VetMentors, LLC, was a part of this annual VBE Day to celebrate its inaugural acceptance to the City of Chicago Department of Procurement Services, excuse me, as a certification. And yes, I also have this certification with the City of Chicago. What this certification did for city business owners who are SDVOSB, that's Service Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Businesses, or the VBE, they are, where is it? I should have highlighted it. Here it is. Oh my God, listen to this. Okay, listen to this. So when you're talking about housing homeless veterans, this is the pathway that I've used for the past 22 odd years in moving veterans from homelessness through their transition to a rental unit, to home ownership, to becoming business owners and investors. I should go back from investors to business owners, and not just any business owner. Business owners who are in government, in the GovCon space, the government contracting space. That's what I went from, and the reason I came up with this ecosystem is because that's the same system I went through. I had to struggle my way through. And when I did, I was thankful for it for more reasons than you can imagine. I've been able to go back and help so many homeless veterans and veterans who have never purchased houses before in their lives. And these are veterans who were in the Korean War, yeah, the Cold War. I sold a veteran his first house, and he was in the Korean War. He's in this book right here, the third edition Veterans Real Estate Guide for Today's Market. You will meet him in this book. I've sold houses as a realtor to veterans who purchased the first time from Vietnam War, and then from all the wars after that. It's amazing. Sometimes I forget now because I am in more in the training in the government space that I forget that, yeah, I am still a realtor. I never let my license lapse. When I was working for corporate America, before I got into housing homeless veterans, I was creating on a team, but I was the instructional designer to put together books like these, just like this. So the subject matter expert, and this was in the construction industry, and the subject matter expert was either an architect or some type of professional. And we had to gather their information and put it in user form in a book. So now that whoever's going for their certification in plumbing or general contracting or OSHA, they'll have a nice book. So that's how I know how to do all of this. And, because of my profession as an instructional designer, and that was a job that I had too. But here, I'm just here to share now and to invite whoever is really interested in learning the fundamentals and of housing homeless veterans, and also the business of housing homeless veterans as an investor. Because as an investor, you have an opportunity to really to take a homeless veteran from their homeless state. And I've got books about all of this too. So hold on, let me grab it. So you can take a veteran from their homeless state and put them in one of your programs in your veteran shared living model. And this book breaks the models down and where the funding could come from. And in my private group, I show you where the funding can come from. And when you hire me as your strategist, then we get deep into where that money is. And I show you how to present yourself to go get that funding to fund all of those veterans who they are sending your way. You don't even have to go find the veterans. They're finding, the organizations are coming to you because you set up your model to receive. Now, for my, let me see what I'm going to talk about. Okay, for my realtors, I am a realtor. And I've worked with thousands of investors, not realtors now, because y'all pushed back in 2014 when I wrote the class and taught it at the board, legal issues for housing choice voucher, Section 8. And I had to stop. I really did. Is one thing you don't want to learn. It's another thing that you don't care for the people. That's where I drew the line. If you don't want to learn how to house people, because the class was not veteran specific, it was for individuals and families who receive the housing choice voucher, Section 8 voucher. So it's one thing that you if you don't want to learn the model, you don't want to learn how to work with the voucher, it's okay. But where I draw the line is where you don't want to work with the people. That's where I draw the line. Because all of these people, and I'm going to stick with my veterans now. Veterans who have received this voucher, they received it because they need it. They need it. They need it. Let me say that again. Veterans who have received this housing choice voucher, HUD VASH, they need it because they are homeless. They're not playing. They're not out here, going dancing. Woohoo, I got a voucher. No, baby. They're out here looking and searching high and low for housing because they're homeless. How did they get homeless? Now, see, that's where I have a problem. And I spoke about this on an interview I just did yesterday with the president of the SDVOB Elite Illinois Network, which I am an executive board member and a member of. SDVOB is Service Disabled Veteran Owned Business, and it's a network nationwide, and our chapter is Illinois. So the interview went something like, I don't even remember. Misconceptions of the public. What are the misconceptions that our general public have when the conversation comes up? We have a homeless veteran. Several misconceptions, and one of which is, a homeless veteran, he or she had to have done something real bad to become homeless. And what I want to say to that is, veterans are people too. Veterans get jobs. Veterans go to school. Veterans lose jobs. Veterans have hard times as well. But the difference is, a veteran who is homeless, we can have and go find help that we need because of all the benefits that we have. So some of the veterans who I housed over the years who were homeless, one had an MBA degree, and he lost his six-figure job. And he thought he could maintain, paying the rent with his savings, and thought he could maintain and get a job before he got evicted. And that didn't happen. So he had to go to an agency that received the funding to pay for his rent for a number of months until he landed another job where he can take over the rent. Well, it happened again. He lost his job. So what do? You have to now go back and find funding somewhere else, or go to a veteran shared living model, because a lot of these organizations that have veteran shared living models have received funding to run those veteran shared living models. And sometimes those veteran shared living models fill up. And when they fill up, they have to reach out to the community and say, hey, we've got grant per diem, we have shallow subsidy, we have monies that we need to use to house this veteran who is homeless. Yes, so that's what happened to him. But now he's a homeowner because of the ecosystem that I helped him with. My ecosystem that I trained you with, that I've been doing for the past 22 plus years. Let me see. Somebody said, need some advice. I am in a city where there are no current vouchers available. Oh, that's a bummer. That is a bummer. Either, and I have had veterans who relocated for a voucher. I've had, just civilians do the same thing. But also there are social agencies, SSVF agencies, that if you contact them, if you don't know who they are, please email me so I'll know what city and state you're in, and I'll send those. resources to you, and you have to make contacts with those resources. And then, too, I can also send a referral letter on your behalf. But your first step is to go to the VA homeless walk-in to see what resources they have. Because sometimes everybody will not be qualified, even if they had vouchers. Everybody doesn't qualify for vouchers, but there's still money in the community. The supportive services for veteran families, funding through all those grants that they received. Thank you for that. But remember to email me. Oh, let me put this here. The reason I'm here on today, I'm talking about, and I'm talking to investors and realtors right now. So if you are an investor, where am I? Okay, right here. This is the link to my master class I have coming up. All right, I'm going to put a star right there so you can go to my master class. Okay, so I'm talking to realtors and investors to join my master class this Thursday. If you say you want to house homeless veterans and you have rental property and you want to house homeless veterans in your rental property, and I'm not saying put two veterans in a room or one veteran in a room. The rental property is using HUD VASH. So if you say, I want to house homeless veterans in a rental using the HUD VASH voucher, that's what my master class teaches you. So you can join my master class for you guys over there on TikTok. My master class link is in my bio. Over here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, my masterclass link is in the comment section. So 2014, I wrote a class to teach realtors how to do exactly what I do. I was getting awards, and I just got an award as early as late as 2025. So for years and years and years, I used to have my award sitting behind me on the mantle, but my husband was like, "Oh, humbug," because it was just so many. So now they're scattered in two offices and in the sitting room. So they were like in 2015 and 16, when I taught the class, it was just so much pushback, so much pushback. And one of my colleague friends asked me, and if y'all have any questions, ask me. I'm going to run over there to TikTok and see if y'all have any questions. Hit the hearts a lot, and then I'll come over there and see what questions you have. So 2015 and 2016 and part of 2017, I taught realtors in the community how to work effectively with the voucher process. And I was even giving them the tea of how to find homeless veterans, because I can't house all of them. You know how many homeless veterans there are, and then you have homeless veterans with vouchers. I can't find all of them, so they might find you first. So let's learn this process and let's take the barriers away so that we can house this veteran using this federal benefits. So say a prayer for me, y'all. Say a prayer for this nation. I wrote my first housing bill, and it has a number. So now the attorney she reviewed everything and going to send it back to me for a final overlook, and then going to send it to the next level. I don't know who that is. I don't know who it is. And if that housing bill is passed, then it's going to protect millions of our homeless veterans looking for housing. Because what you all are doing out there by denying these veterans with these federal, state, and local benefits is criminal. It's criminal. And when that comes out, Oh yeah, some heads are going to spin. So when you learn how to house homeless veterans, it's an easy process. It really is. It's just a mind shift and take away the word homeless, and therefore you won't have a negative connotation that, oh, this veteran, something he did, she did something to get that way. Yeah, he was just living regular life, and life happened. That's how a homeless veteran becomes homeless. And then when a veteran is homeless, that's when the PTSD, that's when y'all think something is wrong with us, because now we're angry. One of my veterans called it something excitement. I guess he learned that in therapy. Overly excitement or something like that. Overly excited. I don't even know. But that's when that happens. You walk past a homeless veteran, then you have the nerves to say, thank you for your service. Oh, you homeless, here's $1. Go get some coffee. You're not doing nothing. Not nothing. Nothing. And this is the reason why I wrote so many books. Why I wrote so many books. I had to get all of this information out of my head in order to bring it to you all. This is from blood, sweat, and tears. This book right here, the 3rd edition, Veterans Buying Real Estate Guide for Today's Market, because veterans have never used their VA loan. They'll come to my workshop and say, Evette, there's nobody teaching this. Nobody is helping them go from one level to the next level, to the next. I've had veterans who would come to my workshops for 3, 4, 5 years, because I've conducted the workshops in the community for 13 years. And that was just that one vet center. And then everybody else started, Evette, can you come here, come there? I'm like, yep, because the veterans need to know. So they would keep coming back so that they can learn the next strategy. What do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? What do I need to do next? And they work on that. And then the next month they come back to the workshop. Okay, vet, this is what I did. This is what happened. And this is what you need to do next. So everybody is accountable for his or her own success in this ecosystem. So I have a master class that I will be conducting this Thursday. And the link is in the comments over here on YouTube and in the comments on Facebook. Maybe the comments on Instagram, I don't know. And also the link is in my bio over on TikTok. And I'm sitting here in my living room, great room, if you want to call it. I don't know. The house is, house of many rooms, purchased with a VA loan with no money down and property tax exemption. And I mean, it's from homelessness. This is, you ask, what happens to a homeless veteran? Well, with the proper guidance, that homeless veteran is sitting in a 4,500 square foot house, is driving his favorite luxury car, is going on vacations as often as he or she likes. I mean, we get so many benefits. And for people who are saying they want to house homeless veterans or they want to do veterans housing, I teach you how to really do veterans housing in your real estate portfolio, not just in your single house. I teach you how to scale. Remember that. How to enlarge your territory. I didn't learn this. I think it was just instilled in me to do the right thing for others. For some reason I could pick up on people's needs and then in conversation and then always have a solution ah, sometimes it's overwhelming, but it's just, a gift that I have where I always want to be the person helping somebody. I don't know how I got like that because growing up, I was a bully. I was a bully. And then one day, I witnessed a little girl younger than me. She might have been, I think she's my little sister's age. So she's 4 years. I'm going to ask Dr. Crystal now. I'm going to ask her how old she is. I think she was younger than me and much smaller than me. So I witnessed the children in our community. They were little kids too, but it was a bunch of them trying to gang up on her, pushing her, and just causing anxiety and fear in her. And all she's trying to do is go home. And we lived in public housing. We lived in CHA, Chicago Housing Authority. So it wasn't like her house was bigger than their house or her mama drove a fancier car. I don't even think her mother had a car. So a lot of people in that community didn't have cars and couldn't afford cars. So when I saw that, the bully in me switched to an avenger. So, and then that's when things change, where I'm no longer a bully. I'm not going to beat you up for no reason. I'm going to beat you up because you are taking advantage of somebody else. So for days and weeks, I would be there waiting for her to take her home. And the kids eventually stop messing with her. And what you say over here? I talked to VA. Okay, just email me. I can't keep going back and having fragmented conversations about something I don't know fully. So just email me. So continuing on, as I grew older and needed somebody to help me, I'm like, well, damn, there's nobody to help me. So that's when I really dug in and started to help myself more and more and more. I had to find resources, find information. And then I found this community of homeless veterans and just know how to point you in a different direction. Now, let me do a disclaimer, okay? Let me do a disclaimer. I don't write the policies for these organizations. I don't work at any of these organizations. And I cannot for sure tell you that these organizations are going to do what you want them to do. You got organizations out here that are sharing in a big bucket of money, over $5 billion. And they are being charged with using that money in our homeless veterans community. Now, I've seen some do well and I've seen some get indicted. I've seen organizations thrive. They're still around today, ever since I've been in veterans homeless housing. And there's organizations that are no longer in business. So it's just up to the organization, but they're out there with the funding. I've seen great work and I've seen work that I mean, oh my God, are you serious? Is that how you're going to treat people? Tell me, what are you using your resources for that you receive, your grant money for that you receive? But anyway, I got a ton of stories that I could tell. But what I really want to do is just teach and train the community how to do what I've been doing over 22 plus years and have housed over 5,000 homeless veterans. And that's where the community comes in. Without the investor, this model will not work. Without housing, this model will not work. It won't. Once you as the provider, once you as the housing provider set up your program, you know where your funding is coming from, and that's where your veterans will be funneled to you from. Once you set up your home as a rental, it's just a matter of working with the organizations that have veterans with a HUD-VASH voucher, and you knowing how to do the paperwork and the entire process. And that's what I teach you how to do. And this is for investors. You don't want to stop there, because the veteran doesn't have to stop there. This is part of my ecosystem, where you take a veteran from homeless through transition to rentals to home ownership to becoming investors and business owners. It happened to me. And it happened to hundreds of my veterans who I have served over the years. And they would call me or email me and text me and say, Evette, I've got 11 doors. 11 doors from a veteran and his girlfriend who came to a couple workshops, and I took them around shopping for multi-units to start housing veterans in the community. And now, the last time she recorded back, they were up to 11 doors. In my book, third edition, Veterans Mind Real Estate Guide for Today's Market, I was looking at it one day and I'm like, oh my goodness, half of these veterans in the book were homeless veterans using HUD-VASH. Half of them in here had HUD-VASH, except for one. She was homeless, and I connected her with the program in the community that paid her and her husband's rent. So when you say you want to house a homeless veteran, you have to be ready to dig in deep. This is not a concern for those who want a quick, rich scheme, or quick, I don't know how you even call it. You're looking to do something and get rich quickly. I mean, if you have the capacity, and we can show you that as well. If you have the capacity, and I do have investors who have capacity, they've got 400 units. One of them back in the day represented 5,000 units. And these are doors, rental doors. You can grow your real estate portfolio to that, but you got to start somewhere. Now, I do not take unsolicited phone calls. I do not offer one-on-one consultations. I don't even do consultations. I do strategy calls. Once you've learned some models, once you've engaged in my ecosystem, once you've gone through a workshop, a master class, and an intensive, and then I can work with you on strategy, setting up your business, not your business where you're going to do your LLC. I don't do that. You got to go see an attorney for that. But your program to work in the community. Then you're going to have homework to do. I don't do your homework for you. Oh, that's why I wrote all these books, so you can learn something. So go get some books and start reading. You know, I used to teach college. I taught college for 4 years while I was working full-time as an instructional designer. I didn't want to leave the college students alone. They were phenomenal. I mean, yeah, some of them, because they had to pay tuition. They weren't like in there with grants, and no, they had to get loans, and they were just learners, and I enjoyed teaching them. And they were like my little bunnies and I brought the real world to them. And after they graduate, they would come back, and I would see some of them out in where I live, and they would tell me how great they're doing. And I mean, it was just wonderful teaching those college kids. And to walk across the stage, and they would come and we would shake their hands, and we would already know what jobs they were going to, based on their degree, because we would have college fairs. And then I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling me at one point they said that recruitment was getting low. I'm like, we can't have this. We can't have this. So it made a suggestion to go in the community and start doing outreach. And that's what brought more college kids to us. So that's what I like doing. I like to educate, and I like to see people grow into who they say they want to become, and not, just try to take. Those days are over. When I was at the VA and all the vet centers, the municipalities, and I mean, I was just everywhere, sharing this information. And the veterans really, they needed that. They needed that. Then I had one, a taker. I'm like, really? I can see you a mile away. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. So take you and him and get out of here. And this was in one of my workshops, and the veteran sitting there like, yeah, you don't do that. If you want to be a part of this community, then you have to be a giver. As a realtor in the homeless veterans community, educating homeless veterans, first-time buyers, spouses of veterans, children of veterans who had to come and learn to help their parents understand, to see them become first-time buyers, that's life-changing. To go to closing and to do a final walkthrough, or go to the house and have a big basket of goodies waiting. And that's life-changing for veterans, life-changing for anybody. And then to stand there and watch a grown man cry. Man, I'm like, men do cry. All of this is so life-changing for the veteran, for me. I'm like, this is something that we all need it. We all need it. And people tell me all the time, Evette, you are my angel, my lifesaver. You changed my life just by putting a roof over somebody's head and showing them a path to go to freedom and liberation and independence. All using our veteran benefits, all courtesy of the VA and the benefits. So don't stop. Do not ever stop applying for your benefits. Whatever it is you need to receive, continue applying for those benefits. Don't stop. I didn't receive benefits until 2018. I put in my first claim in 1984 when I got out of the military. 1984. I put in a claim, I don't know, maybe 10 years later. And then a year after that, it just kept going. But you cannot stop. You can't stop. When I was conducting these workshops at the VA and the vet centers, I didn't have one single benefit. I was not service connected. Only thing I had back then was a Cook County Veterans discount card. Cook County knew I was a veteran. I knew I was a veteran, but going to apply for disability and compensation and getting denied, 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 denied. And that's what the VA, they want you to just give up. But don't give up, because those are your benefits. Those are your benefits. Those are your benefits. Don't give up the fight. Somebody over here says, greeting veterans, Empress Evette Jones Swanson. Thank you, Falcon. That is so lovely. Let me turn around and go see what TikTok is talking about. I want to thank y'all for being here as well. I don't see any questions, comments, or concerns. Thank y'all for the hearts and the love. It's been 45 minutes. So again, I want to encourage and invite realtors and investors to my Thursdays masterclass. So the link is here. Oh, somebody else said something. Hold on. Yes, ma'am, you cannot stop applying for your veteran benefits. They want us to give up. Yep. And it's so much. I was listening to somebody's podcast. I forgot. I listen to a lot of VA stuff. But doing the calculation, it's enough money in the VA funding, wherever all this money is coming from, but it's enough money for all of us to have 100% service connection. It's enough money. It's enough money, but we have to fuss and fight and get nothing after we've been injured and hurt and scorned and life beat us down. But other than, going to the military, those things would never have happened. So yes, the military, we are the beneficiaries. I tell people all the time, we are the beneficiaries of Uncle Sam. We signed our name. He adopted us. The government adopted us. So we're the beneficiaries of all these benefits that we can get. Apply for everything. Apply for all of the benefits in this book. I don't care if you do have all your limbs. Apply for everything. And then go to your state and apply. Start applying. This is work. People say, well, it's taking too long. I got denied, and you quit. That's what they want you to do. Keep fighting for your rights. You know how the civil rights leaders had to fight people during the civil rights? They had to keep fighting. That's why we're here. We wouldn't have been in the house. We would not even have been in this community if it wasn't for our civil rights leaders fighting. So as veterans, we have to fight. And I'm here to fight for y'all, but I can't do it by myself. And that's why I'm inviting investors and realtors and those who say they want to do veterans housing to join my masterclass and join the ecosystem. Because you're an integral part in our community. If we have more realtors, if we have more investors talking about, hey, I've got housing, where these organizations, get connected with these organizations and start using that money and housing these veterans in your real estate. I'll show you how to do that. It's easy for me. I can see it's real easy for me to do it. It's easy for me when I get you in a class to talk about it. It's easy for you to pick up a book and read and then come to a class and you'll understand more. That's why I like teaching in the classroom, because I'm like, okay, look, we're going to read chapters 3, 4, and 5. I want y'all to pay attention to these key elements and bring back your papers for these 3 questions based on the readings that you did. And we're gonna do some comparisons of what other people had to say about it. So, some collaborations, and I just like, teaching and bringing it to the real world, real life. They gave me awards at the college level teaching too. They're like, Evette, don't nobody be teaching like you, Miss Evette, Miss Jones. They don't teach like you. I want to take all your classes. Yeah, because you're about to enter the real world. You're about to enter the real world of veterans homeless housing. This is a real world. Contracts, procurement opportunities, contracts and procurement opportunities with the government, connecting with organizations that have the funding already, knowing where the veterans are, knowing where the money is. I teach you all of that. So join my master class this Thursday, and hopefully we have enough um, want to be producers, housing providers to join my intensive so that I can teach it this Saturday. If not, then I'm going to work in my church ministry this Saturday. So I don't know what people think that, coming into, I know what people think because I keep getting messages. I'm like, okay, that's the same message I got from a couple days ago. But people think, and because there are a lot of people on social media doing veterans housing or just plain transitional housing, co-living housing, that everybody thinks that's how the veterans housing works that I'm talking about. The type of veterans housing that I'm talking about to investors is in your portfolio of real estate, not just one house. I'm talking about building and creating a portfolio. Yeah, that's veterans housing. You want to really take a veteran from homeless to home ownership in all of your businesses, all of your real estate. That's what I teach you how to do. And create your programs. Somebody over here said, love the new background. Thank you, Joelle Wallace. Thank you. I decided to come to my living room today. I was cooped up in the upstairs office. So I'm like, let me just come sit and get cozy next to the fireplace. And I had to remind myself. I was on a national call today with the Veterans Benefits Administration, in which there will be a huge event come April for Illinois veterans. It's a resource fair, and it's going to be huge. And my company, VetMentors, is there. And I had to get to thinking, wait a minute, yeah, I've housed over 5,000 homeless veterans, but I did that as a realtor. So I had to remember I'm still a realtor. I'm still a realtor. I haven't worked in as a realtor. I don't like opening doors. It's just too much for now. But the reason this came up is because how I'm being positioned again in the community, in the municipalities, bringing the workshops to the municipalities. And as a realtor, the veterans need to have somebody to work with them as their realtor. It won't be me. It won't be me, but I'm still a realtor, and they have to know that they're coming to learn from a realtor and not just from anybody. So yeah, I'm a realtor. Hey girl, I remember you. And I've been with the same real estate company, Real People Realty, since November 1st, 2011. One thing about me, I'm that glue. I'm that stick and stay. I don't like to jump around to many things. I like to really learn everything about what it is I'm doing. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so it is now 54 minutes in, and I smell my dinner. I cooked, and then I started a craft, and then I came on live in the living room. we have hope. I have a lot of hope for this community now that my voice is loud. Because people are telling me, in the veterans community, in the veterans business community, in municipalities, in organizations. Thank you for the hearts back there on TikTok. They're reaching out to me. Evette, we need this over here in this state. Evette, we need this over here in this state. Evette, I'm like, look, first of all, I'm going to come back and open it up to the south suburb of Illinois first. That's what I'm going to do. And then I will accept the invitations to go to the next states. Because what I do here and what I'm training operators to do is duplicatable. Is duplicatable nationwide, every city, every state. We just need the operators and we need the key decision makers to say yes. That's it. Once everybody is on the same accord, we can move 5,000 more homeless veterans in your city, in your town. If you have the capacity to move them all to your real estate models, then do that. Anyway, I don't want to be ranting, but you know what? Somebody in the group won a book, and I don't remember who it is. So if you were that group member who was corresponding with me and you won this book, I need to know who you are because it's still sitting in the package. It's still sitting in the package for me to send to you. I don't remember who won the book. That was from our first, was it our first master class or our first, or it was the first master class? So if it was the first master class, then I can go back and see who the first person was to join the master class. I think that's what it was. So anyway, make sure you go to my link and register for this week's master class, and please register for this week's intensive so that I can teach it. But if not, if I don't have enough students in the Saturday intensive, then I'm going to go work in my ministry at church. I'm in the orientation ministry, and I do two things in the orientation ministry, and I speak to the new members. It's like introduce yourself now name everybody, and then somebody gets gifts. So I make it a lot of fun, and they like that too. And the second thing, I'm the junior tour guide hostess. So, and we get to take the new members through the whole church, places that members who have been members of our church have never seen before. And we get to show the new members our beautiful building, our beautiful sanctuaries. And it's just a wonderful thing. So love the new background. Oh, wait a minute. And then Bill Winston. Oh, no, I don't go to Bill Winston's church. My church is New Faith Baptist Church International in Matteson, Illinois. Thank you. Have a great evening. The classes are extremely helpful. I try to make them as helpful as possible. But this is everything that you need. Is everything that you need. I'm not holding nothing back because it does me no good to hold anything back. None. Y'all have to get everything I know. And my suggestion is to go get the books. Oh, Joel Wallace. Look, hold on. Don't leave. Don't leave. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. So, and I love this community of collaboration too. One of our community members, Kazia from Beaufort, South Carolina, helped me with this. So, Joelle Wallace, go to the store. We have a store now. So now when I come on live, I can have on the VHHA, Veterans Homeless Housing Advocates shirt, and founding member, and certified, because I have a certification for y'all too. You didn't know that. So all of this is happening in the background, in addition to the housing bill that's going to explode in every state. I know it is, because when the attorney was talking to me about it yesterday, she said, I had no idea this was going on. I had no idea why there were so many homeless veterans. I had no idea that these things can happen to help veterans. Yeah. Everything I just told you, everything that I just shared with you here is in that housing bill. And it's the Veterans Protection Act, Veterans Housing Protection Act. And it has a number. It has a number. And I figured I'm going to Springfield every year to lobby for real estate housing bills for different areas. The water too high, water bill too high, the property taxes, whatever the case is, that we're hoping to encourage these politicians to vote yes to. I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen one housing bill, not one housing bill to protect the veterans who have these guaranteed resources and going into our community and cannot find housing because of the discriminatory acts that are being put upon them just because they're a homeless veteran with resources. She was like, Evette, I had no idea. She said, I'm going to go through this and make your changes and do this and do that and send it back so you can review it again. That I'm going to send it up to the speaker or whoever the next level is to see if this housing bill is going to become a housing bill, or so that politicians can vote yes on it. In Illinois, and this housing bill, I gave it to one of my state representatives who has been a great supporter in my former not-for-profit organization, 100 Pretty Persons for Female Veterans. And she was like, Evette, send it to me. Send it to me. So we've got it. We've got it. And all we need now is for it to be said yes to. I don't know the terminology for all of that. But once they say yes, it can go in this wherever so that the politicians can vote yes to it. And when they vote yes, and it's a bill in Illinois, it's going to go to the next states over because it is a national crisis. It is a national heinous crime to our homeless veterans with benefits. With that said, I want to thank y'all for watching and thank y'all for liking my background. And go and get some books and start reading. Start going in my brain. What would she know? What? Yeah, go get some books and start learning. And join me this Thursday. Go to the link everywhere and register for this Thursday's masterclass. And Joelle Wallace, I want you to open your email because you are the subject of this week's email. And also, Jeremy, he's also the subject of this week's email that's going out to everybody in our ecosystem to see what you are experiencing just working with me. And I want to thank you and God bless you. God bless you all for stepping up to this not only opportunity, but to this life-changing experience that you can give to veterans in your community. Thousands, because you can have groups of other investors and have a conglomerate of properties for veterans, because the money's there. The money's there. Building capacity. I was on 3 Sources Sought last year, for the grants that were awarded for 2026. They didn't get them, but the resources sought, those were for capacity for 50 doors, 50 for 50 veterans, not just doors, but for 50 veterans. And that could have been in a motel or hotel or, yeah, that's what we were looking for. And I did find a motel. And then it was one for 8 veterans. And when I say that, the agency would pay everything. They would pay the rent. They would pay because they would have their own programs in those housing. You would be the investor. You wouldn't even have to run a program. And agencies are still looking for types of properties like that. But don't call me saying what agencies. I don't know, but I teach you how to find out. So I can't do your work for you. I can show you where to go. Love y'all back. Thank y'all for those hearts on TikTok. And Joel Wallace, much love to you too, my friend. Congratulations. Thank you so much. Larry, doing my research with an investor that may be interested. All right. I hope you got the book and you're in the community so we can help you go through that plan with the investor. Much love. Thank you. Great information. Useful and very inspiring. I live in a rural area. Had HUD VASH is definitely limited. I understand, but you know what too was not limited is a lot of these organizations, these philanthropy organizations that are statewide and nationwide that are looking to dump their money somewhere. So with the right plan and knowing who these organizations are, and I was on the phone with one of them today. I'm like, girl, we missed our meeting last week. I will be calling you back. So send me your calendar so we can connect. But it's, it's not just money from the SSVF or from HUD VASH. You have all these philanthropy organizations, these foundations that have funding. I used to get a lot of my funding from one particular foundation for my not-for-profit organization, and then other foundations and donors in the community. So we have a lot of money in our community. You just have to know how to position yourself to get it. I got a grant for teaching veterans how to hula hoop. I did. So you just have to know who has the money and where to go get it. So thank y'all for being here. My food is smelling real good. I'll see y'all tomorrow. God bless you.
Across America, too many of our heroes return home only to face another battle, the fight for stable housing. Veterans are overrepresented in the homeless population, often caught in a system that is complex, slow, and full of barriers. At VetMentors, we're changing that narrative. For over 20 years, we've been boots on the ground, not just identifying the problem, but building real solutions. That's why we created the U.S. Military Veterans Educational and Resource Guide book series, a groundbreaking collection designed to educate, equip, and empower. These guidebooks are written not only for veterans, but also for the communities, organizations, and leaders who serve them. From step-by-step housing models to funding strategies, this series gives social workers, case managers, realtors, and first responders the tools they need to act with speed, dignity, and impact. VetMentors believes housing is not charity. It's a mission, a responsibility, and a pathway to restoring honor. Every guidebook in this series is a resource designed to make sure no veteran is left behind, and no community has to say, "We didn't know how to help." This is how we turn challenges into victories. I'm Evette Jones Swanson, Army veteran, CEO of VetMentors LLC, and I invite you to join us in rewriting the story for America's veterans.